This is Don't Panic, episode number 228, recorded January 7th, 2019. Brand new year, same old tech. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast of the future. I am Sean Jennings, joined as always by our own pair of baby New Years. It is Colby Rabideau and Dan Miller.
Yeah, we're so fresh.
Our own pair of what?
Baby New Years.
What's that?
The baby with the sash and the top hat, the official mascot of New Year's. Are you not familiar with Baby New Year? I kind of want to know the origin of that.
No.
As we all run to Google, Baby New Year.
Oh my god, that first Wikipedia picture is horrifying.
Oh yeah, look at that. Let me put this up on the screen for the folks watching the video version. That's upsetting.
It's some sort of like the Island of Misfit Toys doll.
No, Baby New Year is the personification of the star of the new year, commonly symbolized by birth or rebirth and a baby. And that's also another, when your baby, the first baby born on January 1st is called a New Year's baby.
There you go.
My father was a New Year's baby.
Oh yeah, that's why we call him every New Year's Eve to say happy birthday.
My grandmother always tells the story that there was a hospital in the town that I grew up in, Adams, closed long before I was born, but was open at the time. And if my grandmother had gone there to give the birth, he would have been the first baby born in the county. But because that hospital sucked, they drove to the farther away hospital, and he was the second baby born.
Damn.
In the county, so he didn't get any kind of special note in the paper or anything.
Yeah, no accolades.
Nothing at all. Just a regular dude.
Did you know that there's the Rudolph stop motion claymation video, Christmas video?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you know that there's what?
Rankin Bass. Those were the name of the guys who made those.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, obscure fact.
Some more Sean Jennings trivia. But did you know, Sean? Here's some trivia for you. Did you know that there's a sequel to that?
What?
Yes.
There's a sequel. Yes, Sean says as he scans the Wikipedia article more thoroughly.
Actually, I did know this because there was a great article this year about it. Oh no, is it this one or there's another sequel that Rankin Bass did that is horrible? That's like notoriously bad. But I got to see if I can track down the name of it. It might be this one. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, I don't know how bad it is. It's Rudolph's Shiny New Year, and he rescues Baby New Year.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did all of those really creepy.
It doesn't have a reception heading, so... And I'm guessing it doesn't have a Rotten Tomatoes score, but let's see.
The one I was thinking of was Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, which is a real thing and does exist.
It's got a 50% tomato rating, so it's right on the line.
It's
because it doesn't have any. Oh, it does have reviews.
Yeah, yeah. It's a shame. We're a little late to these in the new year here.
That's true. I don't think I watched any of those movies this year.
No, they do still air them.
Did you watch any Christmas movies?
I definitely saw like parts of more than one Hallmark Christmas movie, but only parts.
Do you guys have a favorite Christmas movie? And you can't say Die Hard. It's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, the one with the BB gun.
Oh, Christmas Story?
I kept thinking that's what it was, but I was like, that can't possibly be what it's called. That is what it's called.
I want to say A Christmas Tale, but I'm like, no, that doesn't sound right.
It's just A Christmas Story. Yeah, and I was only introduced to it relatively recently. But before that, I don't know that I had a favorite Christmas movie.
I feel like I like Rudolph and I like The Grinch too. Frosty's okay. I don't like the one with the heat miser. I think it's dumb.
Year Without a Santa Claus?
Yep. There's another one. I don't really like the black and white ones, like It's a Wonderful Life. What's the other one? Miracle on 34th Street or something.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Those are just okay. Yeah.
I think.
How about you, Sean? Do you have a favorite?
Well, have you guys ever seen the Michael Keaton Jack Frost movie?
Is that the one where he dies?
Yes, and comes back as a snowman. That movie is awful, but it's awesome. I wanted Matt to watch it for a Christmas episode, and he would not. That's a very bad movie. No, I don't really think I have a favorite, like, actual Christmas movie.
Yeah. Have they made any new Christmas movies? They've just redone The Grinch like 4 times.
Well, that's true. I think it is a lot of, like, the Hallmark movies, like you mentioned. That's kind of the big new thing. That's the new Christmas film innovation. That's what the kids are watching.
The kids.
The kids love Hallmark and Lifetime.
Yes, Lifetime. Lifetime is what I was thinking of when I said Hallmark, but I guess it's...
Well, they both make movies, so you're in the clear.
Yep. Oh boy.
Did you guys have a nice... So we've been off for the last 2 weeks.
Resting up. I got complaints that we were not available.
No. The fans have spoken.
Yep.
The people have had enough.
We can never take a vacation again.
And now that we're back, they're saying, go away again. We were wrong.
We made a terrible mistake.
Wow. Well, we're back, whether you like it or not, folks. For a whole nother year. Can you believe it's 2019? Now, I know this is a very standard joke question, but I'm going to ask it seriously. Any New Year's resolutions this year, guys?
No. What do you mean it's a joke question? Lots of people have New Year's resolutions. No, but I think
when people ask it, they don't mean it seriously. I think people ask it like, haha, so any New Year's resolutions? But I think like nobody ever actually wants to hear what your New Year's resolutions are.
Yeah, okay. Well, I took a page out of, I think I got this from Due by Friday. And I think yearly themes, just like a thing to try to do.
Sure.
And I think what I've decided on is just like, it's the year of switch it up. Okay. Just try something else. And I started doing that this weekend.
Now, Dan, can I, if I may so boldly interject here, when like of everyone I know, you're probably top 3 of most likely to switch it up. Now, again, that may say more about me than it says about you, but
I think it definitely does.
Can your life handle more switching it up?
Oh, believe you me, it can.
Oh my God, I'm anxious just thinking about it.
So this weekend, Sean.
Yes.
I switched it up and I bought real books instead of Kindle books.
Whoa, slow down, Dan.
It doesn't have to be a big thing. It's just like, I haven't read a real book in a long time, nor have I bought a real book in a long time. Well, I think I brought this up on the program, but I will buy real books when I really like the book, but I've already read it on Kindle. I won't read the real book.
Sure.
So
God, can we pause briefly? Like, just go back, rewind in your brains, and pretend I made a Nintendo Switch joke like 5 minutes ago. Anyways.
About what?
About
switch it up.
I thought it was hilarious when you made it several minutes ago, Colby. So
me too. Anyways, yeah. Sorry.
No, that's all. So that was my first switch it up. But it can be anything. It can be what you eat for breakfast. I eat the same thing for breakfast almost every day. You can switch that up. That could certainly do some switching up.
What could Dan eat for breakfast? What do you normally eat for breakfast?
Well, in the summer I drink. In the summer I eat cereal. In the winter I have oatmeal.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll get crazy. I'll do the overnight oats, but not usually.
Do you like eggs?
I do not like eggs. We've been over this, Colby. I don't like eggs on their own, and then at that point it's too much. There's too much stuff going in for it to be a weekday breakfast.
What do you need with your eggs for it to be
I like omelets.
Okay.
I like I don't know what the name for this is, but you get scrambled eggs and then you have a bunch of stuff in it.
Like a scramble?
A scramble. Thank you. I'm down with that. I'm down with an egg sandwich.
Mm-hmm. See, egg sandwiches are more achievable than you think.
That's true.
All you got to do is cook the egg, and you just slap some cheese on there and put it on a toasted bread of your choice.
He makes a good argument. I mean, you can't disagree with that.
Listen, I think that's a thing to try.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the soy sauce eggs?
No.
Soy sauce egg? No, I don't think so.
This is something I've also been meaning to try to switch it up. Is you make scrambled eggs, but or you're gonna make a scramble. Sorry. Let me back up. This is like a Japanese breakfast thing would be like white rice with egg on top. I think a fried egg on top. But someone introduced me to the idea of like that's kind of bland, and you might put a bunch of soy sauce on it, but you can, before you put the egg in the frying pan, whisk the egg with soy sauce and then fry it. It's supposedly very good, and then you can put that right on the rice. So I'm also going to try that out, but maybe that could be a breakfast thing.
That sounds kind of good. I want to try that.
I like that. Wouldn't have thought.
So that's my theme of the year.
Okay. Cole, would you have a theme this year?
Not yet, but I have been thinking about this, what my theme should be.
Well, if fans have any suggestions, at Colby Rabadoo on Twitter, tweet him at him. Don't tweet him at me or at Don't Panic because we're not going to answer, but...
Get at me.
What do you think Colby's theme should be?
New year, new... I don't know.
Maybe you can just start doing the hair to the other side.
That'd be crazy.
That too big? Too big for you? Too bold?
I do need to get a haircut soon. I've been thinking about changing it up somehow.
Ooh.
I don't know how though. Probably not that much. I could get a mohawk.
See, this is why we need an interactive show, because this is the part where we go, and now you at home, press 1 for frosted tips. Press 2 for kid and play block haircut. You know, the block. You know, we could, and the fans at home could vote.
That would be cool.
And then you would have to do it.
Yeah, legally binding.
Yeah,
it's
and
legally
them the
binding.
rules. I don't make them. I just work here.
Oh boy. Yep. I don't know. What about you, Sean?
Mine is much less fun, but my theme this year is details.
Details.
I am a really good, and this is both at work and in my personal life. I am a pretty good big picture guy, I feel, but I tend to let a lot of small details slip by, mostly due to my bad memory. So I'm going to try and be better this year about writing down small things, accomplishing small tasks, and not letting, you know, like when I get a bill in the mail, don't just, and yes, I do still get bills in the mail. Don't just like toss it on the counter and then forget about it. Like actually pay it right there. You know, things like that. Just more follow through.
Now, Sean, have you read Getting Things Done?
Does that sound like something someone who doesn't get things done would do?
Yes, because you've read because you had enough time to read the book.
No, I have not. I have not. It's been recommended to me by multiple people.
Yeah,
oh boy.
You should give it a shot. I think, like many processes, it is most useful for inspiration of how you might want your process to look.
Because I have tried a number of processes. Again, it's always a follow through issue where I do use it for a while, and then no dice.
No dice, like
I just
stop following the process, or you stop.
I am literally nothing in my life. Like, I tried to take an adult gummy multivitamin, did that for about a week, and couldn't handle continuing to do that. So it just very short term thinking that I just have no follow through on. So I just got to be better. And 2019 is going to be the year, guys.
Well, I like that you have a theme.
Yep, you guys got to start somewhere.
How are you going to remind yourself about the theme? Like, how will you prevent the theme from being something that you also stop doing eventually?
Oh, no, I forgot about that. Shoot. How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? I'm going to forget I made this promise literally tomorrow. I'm going to wake up tomorrow not remembering what my theme was for this year. Whoops. Okay, well, you know, hey, maybe there's a different theme.
We got suggestions for you, Sean.
I would like to try a new breakfast as well if anyone has any ideas. I eat the same thing every day, so
What do you
tried
eat? What's
overnight
your
oats.
breakfast?
I have a kind bar, a kind breakfast bar every day.
Oh.
It's very boring.
Like you never
But it's very easy because you just
Do you
grab
ever
the
eat-
bar.
Well, I feel like a really easy way is to just like go someplace and get breakfast. Do you ever do that?
No,
I
I don't.
feel like it's different when you're in a car.
I
It
don't
feels
think
like
it
an
is.
extra step.
I used, if you recall, when
I
we
do-
lived in
am recalling
Poughkeepsie,
this now.
I would start my every day early so I could go to the good Dunkin' Donuts, which was not on my way to work, but it was near work, sort of.
My issue is I'm
in
not.
the opposite direction.
Yeah, it was the opposite direction. But the other one was so bad.
That's true. I mean, my issue is I'm just not swimming in self-control. So if I ever went out for breakfast, it's not like a small thing. It's all the things.
I see. That's fair.
But I am trying pour over coffee this year. So
That's
so
a good one.
far to mixed results. So, hey, it's going to be a great year, guys.
Mixed results. I'm going to have to think about this more. I'll report back next week.
Please do. That would be a great theme this year. Figuring out a theme for this year. Seems very accomplishable. Or figuring out a theme for 2020 could be your theme for 2019. And then you're covered both years.
Just get your shit on track.
Get your shit together, Colby.
Uh,
It's a lofty,
boy.
lofty goal. Well, anything tech-wise happening with you guys over the last couple weeks?
Oh, I told you something. Oh, one of my LED bulbs stopped working.
Yes.
what?
I know.
I thought that wasn't supposed to happen for like decades.
Certainly not after 2 years, but
You
here
should
we
see if
are.
it's still under warranty. I mean, probably not worth the hassle, but
Yeah. No, I just bought, and the other thing I realized, you can't get single LEDs on Amazon, so I bought 4 more LEDs and resisted the temptation to get smart light bulbs very easily by looking at the price and going, and then running away. When they're $20 a pop, then I'm in.
they're getting there.
They are not there
Getting
yet.
there someday.
I feel like the knockoff, the off-brand ones that I used to have were less than $20.
The trick is you have to buy them in bulk. If you get like a 6-pack, the price gets down close to like $30, $25, but you got to buy like a bunch. And that's the problem I always run into is I always just need one more.
You always need
I don't
one
wanna-
more.
I'm afraid to buy
You
more
have 3
lamps.
spares?
I have no spares, actually. I just had to go get another one when I got my floor lamp. I was like,
Oh,
God,
wow.
I felt like a dummy. I said, it's just putting in good money after bad. Shame on me.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
That's my tech news.
I'm having an issue with my new 10R. Did I tell you guys about this?
No.
It just dies for no reason, suddenly. No response from the screen. The device is just completely shits the bed, and then I have to do a hard reset to bring it back to life.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But I'm doing something different this time. Normally I take it to the Apple store. The problem is going to the Apple store, it's like a minimum hour wait, and I ain't got time for that. So I tried doing phone support this time, and they are going to mail me a new phone, and I have to mail this one back. Which seems more convenient, but what worries me is the Apple people on the phone were like really shady, which is kind of unusual for Apple. But they were really shady because they're like, "Oh, we're gonna put a temporary charge on your credit card in case you steal the phone and don't give it back." And I'm like, "I get that. That makes sense." And they're like, "But we're gonna pre-charge you for the repair, and if it's covered under the warranty, we'll refund the money." And I'm like, "It's a 2-month-old phone. I'm guaranteeing you it's covered under the warranty. Like, short of me chucking it in a blender, which, by the way, would be covered under my Apple Care anyway, like, what scenario would I pay for this repair? Because either it's a warranty issue or it's accidental and that's covered under my Apple Care." And they're like, "We still have to charge you." It's like $400 if they... So I send this to Apple, and if they just say, "No, it's not covered under your warranty," I have to pay $400. Now, I know if I just went to an Apple store, they would just give me a new phone because that's just how the Apple store works. But for some reason, their phone support is super sketchy. about how
That's
this repair
weird.
process works. It was really. I was like, is this normal?
Well, maybe they're pretty tight-lipped on the repairs at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I'm the idiot who went and got the brand new, never tested iPhone where the first run always has manufacturing problems. I'm surprised it hasn't been bent in half yet, but I'm curious to see what they'll say. But if I return the phone and they say it's out of warranty, I don't know what reprieve I have. So I'm sure it won't be a problem. But it was very weird the way they did it.
Maybe it's more for I don't know. I'm sure there's people who well, I guess you said that you have the Super Apple Care, but maybe there are things that are not covered in the Super Apple Care, right?
Well, and the manufacturer's warranty is only 1 year. So if it is a manufacturer's problem, theoretically, I mean, I get the idea that you want to pre-charge people. It is a $400 expense. You want to make sure people can pay it. I get that.
Yeah.
But it's a 2-month-old phone. I don't know. I don't. And again, between AppleCare and the manufacturing warranty, I cannot imagine a scenario where they would repair it and it wouldn't fall under one of those two.
I agree.
So
weird.
New phone comes tomorrow. I'll follow up next week on how it goes.
Well, that's good to know if I ever need to get my phone repaired.
Just go to the app, honestly, and I'll do that next time. It's just not worth. It's not worth the hassle. I just wish that they would be better about letting you make appointments and stuff at the Apple Store.
You can do that.
You can, but you have to call. You can't just
No.
do it yourself. I couldn't figure out a way to do it.
I've done this in New York. Maybe
in your
only certain
fancy
stores.
New York Apple Store. Okay.
I've done it in Boston too. But
On your
I don't know.
fancy Boston Apple stores. I couldn't figure out how to do it. Maybe I couldn't figure out how to do it. Because if you call
I haven't had to do that in a
and you
while.
ask them, they will make you an appointment on the phone. And by the way, every appointment's a week out. The Apple Store near me is just overrun.
Totally.
They got to do something about that.
It's out of control.
All right, guys. Anything else you'd like to talk about? Non-tech news related?
No.
I got
No.
nothing.
Then we shall pivot.
This is my one of my favorite episodes of the year.
Oh,
or I
my
guess this
goodness.
one, the next one.
Dan, prepare to be mildly disappointed because CES
I don't
2019
know.
is here and nothing wacky was really introduced this year.
What?
I hate to break it to you.
Everything's normal.
It's honestly a mix of all boring stuff.
No.
Okay.
Sean, you're missing.
What
You're
am
missing.
I? What am I
All right,
missing?
let me
I
find it.
looked.
You keep going. Let
Maybe
me
I'm just out of sorts because we haven't done this in a while. But
I'm flabbergasted. I cannot believe I can't even type.
all right. You bring in Dan while you're doing that. Let me bring everyone in who a great podcast I listened to reminded me that every episode could be someone's first episode. So if you've never joined us on Don't Panic before, thank you for being here. And thank you to everyone who's joining us live right now on Facebook.com/Don't Panic Show and Twitch.tv/Don't Panic Show. Comment along with the show. Emily in the Facebook chat says, Jack Frost, the movie is terrifying. I recall being traumatized. Yes. So please comment there. Monday nights about 10:15 Eastern, we do the show live. If you're joining us, we spend the second half of the show talking about the week's tech news, and this time of year, early January, is CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, been going on for decades. It is the show for consumer electronic brands to come and show off their big wares. It's mostly gadgets. It's a lot of televisions. I would say not so much phones, because usually Apple does its own thing, and the Mobile World Congress is later in the year. It's not even really... It's somewhat laptops, but Computex really does a lot of those. But it is a lot of gadgety type stuff. It's now a lot of smart home is really a big theme, and a lot of computer accessories and things like that as well are announced. And this year we had a number of things brought out, guys. I guess I will ask then, is there somewhere you'd like to start with CES, or should I jump into some of the key things we've seen this year?
Yeah, jump into some of the key things.
Okay, some of the key things we've seen this year. Televisions, always a big deal at CES. This year is no exception. 8K is coming. A number of 8K products announced from all the major manufacturers, Vizio, LG, Sony, Samsung, the big boys, all announced different 8K TVs, also updated 4K TVs. The other big innovation, quote-unquote, this year, micro LEDs. This is Samsung's big pitch on their, LG. I get confused after a while, guys. I got to be honest with you. They really blend into each other at some point. But micro LEDs, I'm trying to find the article that explains
micro LEDs.
Micro LEDs. Now, these are, and again, this is kind of a bit scientific, so I may not understand the exact principles.
Buckle up.
They're smaller than regular LEDs, okay?
That makes sense.
Now, they're
Not
bigger than
macro
nano LEDs, so don't get confused there.
Are there also nano LEDs?
No, I made that up, but it wouldn't surprise me. We'll see that at next year's CES.
Right.
What it is it's millions of inorganic red, green, and blue microscopic LED chips. That's what's different between OLED and micro LED. OLED has the organic compound in there. That's what the O stands for. Without it, micro LED should deliver perfect blacks because all of the microscopic LEDs can be turned off individually, best-in-class brightness, and an incredibly wide HDR color palette without burn-in and longer lifespan.
I thought that's what OLED was.
But this is better because there's no organic piece of it. Whatever they put in the OLEDs to make them work, and I do not know what that is, it has a lifespan. Your TV actually goes bad after a while, and these don't. These are just straight up LEDs. It's an OLED it has here is a I'm trying to find what the actual organic film is traditionally made of. Oh god, this is way too scientific. I'm not even going there. But Samsung showed a 75-inch TV using modules, so you could actually take it. The TV is actually several pieces because the LEDs are so small. You can actually break them apart, and so there are these panels you can take off the wall, and you can put 4 of them and make a TV this big, or 8 of them and make a TV this, and you kind of like assemble a TV. And that's because the micro LEDs are so small that they can be easily kind of segmented into these little modules, as they call them.
Oh, cute.
I'm so confused.
Okay.
So these LEDs are small.
Micro.
They're micro. They're small.
Uh-huh.
But what prevents you from splitting up a TV into panels sections today?
I am.
I don't think
honored.
anything does, but I think that you have like seams.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, Dan, I'm honored that you think that I know the answer to that question. So thank you.
Sometimes you know things.
No, I think Colby would be. I don't know the answer, but I think Colby's probably right. Is that seams are probably a big issue, and it's also that bigger LEDs require bigger stuff behind them, and so you can't as easily split up the panels.
That makes sense too.
But that is a good question.
Yeah, I mean, looking at these pictures, it looks like there's a seam too, but it's pretty subtle.
Again, is this something that you'll ever actually buy? This panel sort of version of it? Probably not. Will you buy just a more boring 55-inch version of this in 6 years? Yeah, probably. I mean, this certainly is interesting technology, and it does seem to solve a lot of the problems that come from OLED. The issue, of course, with something like this is always price, which, of course, Samsung has not said how expensive it will be. The micro LED, they actually showed micro LED for the first time last year, just in very kind of like rough sort of technical demos. And this year, they're not giving any firm official prices or release details. So you can't even buy this yet.
The story of everything at CES.
It certainly is a story of a lot of it. I mean, we do see a lot of previews of what's to come. Like I said, 8K TVs are coming in the next year. What you'll be able to watch on them, literally nothing in 8K. But your 4K, I'm sure, will look twice as good or something like that.
Yeah. I was so recently, and by recently I mean over Christmas break and finally wrapping up last night, I rewatched Lord of the Rings, and I remember when it was a big deal that I could get that on Blu-ray. But then I was like, well, they must milk the crap out of this, and they must have, a 3D release and a 4K release, and they don't.
Yeah, it's a lot of rights
so I'm
issues.
like, if they don't have a 4K release of like a big movie franchise like that, what 4K movies can there possibly be? Is it just new stuff?
Well, the issue is if you wanted to buy a 4K Blu-ray, you have to have a 4K Blu-ray player.
Right.
Which they don't. There's not many of to go actually physically buy. I think Sony makes a couple, but they're not common, and they're pretty expensive. I think they're like $200. Which for a Blu-ray player is pretty expensive. So I think that's more. I mean, I agree with you, Dan. I think the physical media is interesting, but 4K streaming's really got to be the future. I mean, there are technical limitations to how much data they can get on a disc. And I think especially when you start looking at 8K, I mean, I don't know if Blu-ray even has the limitations to be able to handle 8K. They had to. I think they're using double layer Blu-rays for 4K, so I don't even know how they could do an 8K.
Quad layer.
Dan, spoken like a true marketer.
2 Blu-rays. You finish the first one and you put in the second one.
Well, they already had to do that for the Lord of the Rings, so.
Yep. It's like the old laser discs where you had to flip it over halfway through the movie.
Right,
the second half on the other side.
ROM computer games.
Yep.
We've done this before. It works fine.
Yeah, people love Laserdisc. I give you one example of an 8K TV. TCL showed a lot of stuff. They're a big partnership with Roku, developing an 8K television in collaboration with Roku, scheduled for release by the end of 2019. So that could be coming soon.
Cool.
Yep. So that's pretty much it for TVs. We saw, what else did we see? We saw a lot of smart home stuff. We saw a ton of smart home stuff. Including
and this is where it gets good.
Smart home ecosystems. That's the big thing, because it's companies that used to just make one camera, now make everything. Companies that used to make one smart switch, now make everything. So there's now the TP-Link. Everyone loves TP-Link, right? I'm sure your house is filled with TP-Link smart home stuff. Well, now there's a TP-Link ecosystem, and all the TP-Link smart devices talk to each other. What about Arlo? I know you guys are big Arlo guys.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is now there's the whole Arlo ecosystem. They got switches, and they got plugs, and they got lights, and they got cameras. They got it all. The Ring people, owned by Amazon, they've now got smart smoke detectors and floodlights, and they've got all kinds of stuff. Everybody's got all the smart home everything. And they all talk to themselves and not much else. Oh, and they all have Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa built in.
But not HomeKit.
Some do. That's also a big story that we can certainly talk about. Is Apple integration huge throughout. Almost all of the TVs I mentioned here today coming out in 2019 have AirPlay 2 and HomeKit support
crazy.
Built into the TV, which, we'll get to this, basically makes the Apple TV worthless, I would argue at this point.
I was going to say, so does this mean the HomeKit integration means that it acts as a HomeKit hub?
Yep. I believe so. I believe so. Now, I should specifically mention Vizio, LG, Sony all announced AirPlay 2 and HomeKit support. Samsung announced AirPlay 2 support, no HomeKit support, but Samsung is getting the iTunes built-in apps with Bixby voice support.
Oh, Bixby.
Oh, Bixby. And that was a big thing at Samsung's announcement, going all in on Bixby. That will be the central hub of their AI-connected everything
What was
ecosystem.
the name of Samsung's stupid Android fork or whatever it was called?
Oh, yeah. See, I keep thinking of HTC Sense, which was theirs. What was Samsung's? Oh, boy. This is where we need a chat room to jump in and tell us the answer, because I don't know.
TouchWiz.
Oh, geez. TouchWiz.
TouchWiz. What a terrible name. So, yeah, they're sort of up. They're sort of up there, up to their old stupid name antics once again.
Branding nonsense.
Bixby,
your old pal Bixby. Yeah, so that's huge. Apple was all over, surprisingly, a company not showing at CES, but was really kind of all over the place.
Did I also see they're doing iTunes is going to be on other things now?
Yes, just one announced so far, but Samsung 2019 TVs will support iTunes. There will be an iTunes movie and TV shows app. Will be available in 100 countries on both Samsung's 2019 TVs as well as 2018 models after firmware update. The Apple was very specific to say that Samsung Smart TV ad tracking features cannot track your viewing usage in the app, part of their privacy focus. And the app will integrate with Samsung's on-TV search, so you can use, like I said, the Bixby built-in voice assistant on your Samsung TV to search within the iTunes app on there as well. And it's believed it will support their upcoming video streaming service. And like I mentioned, AirPlay 2 support also on these televisions.
That's cool. AirPlay 2 is cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
I want to AirPlay to everything all the time.
You know, on one hand, it's surprising that they haven't done it yet, and on the other hand, like I said,
surprising that they did it.
Well, it is. It kind of is, because of how many years were people talking, oh, Apple's going to make their own TV set. They don't need anyone else. They're going to make their own TV. Why bother doing even something you can plug into other people's TVs? And now it's like the complete opposite, where they don't even need the hardware, the TV hardware anymore. Because what do you need an Apple TV for? If you buy a Samsung TV this year, what do you need an Apple TV for?
The TV app. I am a big fan of the TV app.
But can't you just AirPlay it from your device?
That's a good point. The AirPlay support is kind of weird.
It is.
Because not all apps do not have to support it, although many do, and I'm not sure that they realize that they do because they're using like the default iOS player.
Yep.
Like, does Netflix support AirPlay? I don't think so.
It seems like they try really hard not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird like content rights stuff that limits with AirPlay, which is weird because most of the apps I find that don't support AirPlay do support Chromecast.
Well, right, but that's because the Chromecast is the one doing the actual streaming.
Right.
So the danger of the AirPlay is that you could be sending it to some like unauthorized AirPlay device and use it to record the protected content.
I can AirPlay to my PC.
Right.
Dangerous.
That's dangerous. We can't allow that. That's dangerous.
Yeah. Like, what would the
next
NFL do?
People will be asking to take Flash out of the browser. Like, come on.
You can
Crazy.
use AirPlay for Netflix.
Oh, interesting.
They added support for that in iOS 7, so it's been there for a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I was very wrong.
But you also got to remember, too, Netflix is the company that puts their app on, I think my toaster supports Netflix, so it's not like there's any lack of places to watch Netflix.
Yeah, although we talked about this yesterday. Yesterday? Was that yesterday?
Can you believe it?
Oh, my God. The Bandersnatch, you can't even watch that on Apple TV.
I know. Some BS.
Yeah, that was some custom stuff.
Well, can you watch it on an iPad?
Maybe.
I didn't try. I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe I need to Bandersnatch and report back.
I feel like it did, so I tried to do it on my Apple TV, and it did show me a little video like, oh, womp womp, you can't do this, but try it on your, like, litany of other devices. And I think one of them was tablets, so I assume that includes iPad, but I don't know.
think. That seems like a good place to implement something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think, like, why? I don't know. I'm sure there's a technical reason why it doesn't work on the Apple TV. Or maybe it was too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just don't know. We could reach out to Netflix for comment.
Well, I think it's probably just a case of they stack ranked their platforms and they did all the new ones. I think are all web based, and the Apple TV I know is not. So they probably did all the web-based ones and all of the most popular native app platforms, and then Apple TV didn't make the cut. That's my guess.
Yeah. So, and we also saw, in addition to, like I said, AirPlay 2 and HomeKit coming to a lot of major televisions, we saw big smart device integrations. Like I said, Google Assistant is Google said we'll be in over 1 billion devices this year. Amazon also having strong integration throughout. Just about every smart device has those in there. Let's see what else was announced. Dan, I saw you put a link here in the chat that you might like to talk about. A fully immersive experience. Dan, what is this?
All right, because every year we need the stupid smart home thing. That's been our new featured story.
I mean, you're assuming this is stupid, though.
Well,
let's tell the folks at home what it is, and then maybe they can decide if it's stupid or not. Kohler, the fine folks at the Kohler Corporation.
You see them at the Home Depots and the Lowe's.
That's right, your local hardware stores, the plumbing company. They're back with a fully immersive bathroom experience.
Ooh, that's what I want. I want to be immersed.
Let's start with the Numi 2.0 intelligent toilet, which is a very strange thing to say. It promises customers a fully immersive experience thanks to the many lighting and audio enhancements.
That's what I want.
I'm not sure I want to be immersed in my toilet.
Well, you want some things to be immersed in it, but you don't want lighting, Colby? So that, some good old mood lighting?
I was trying to make a bad joke.
You didn't want to fall in the toilet?
Yeah.
Well, if this thing gets a mind of its own, you won't, might not be able to stop it.
That's true.
But that's what I really didn't understand was like, the title of this article is a fully well, that's not the title of the article at all, but the title image shows not a fully immersive toilet, but a fully immersive bathroom.
Well, and they announced a fully immersive bathroom's worth of stuff.
Right. But I don't understand why their marquee device is the toilet. Like, people relax in their bathtubs. I can totally see lighting on bathtubs being a cool feature. And
on the other hand,
coordinate with other light bulbs and stuff.
Yeah. On the other hand, though, that's like a once in a while thing. Like your toilet is multiple times a day.
Colby, treat yourself. What are you doing?
Maybe that should be my theme of 2019.
That should. You know what? I am here for this theme.
Yeah, you got to be good to yourself, man.
That's true.
Let me ask you this, Colby. How many smart light bulbs do you have in your bathroom?
0.
Mm-hmm.
Big
I wonder
mistake.
if I could put some.
I am renovating my bathroom in the next year or two.
Ooh.
And I actually have the authority to put this shit in my bathroom.
Yeah.
Because it's
Sean's the boss of his domain.
Why do you think I bought a house? Smart toilet.
That'd be crazy.
Let me read a quote for you guys. I am a giant fan of the press release quote. This is from David Kohler, president and CEO of Kohler Co. Connected technology is driving innovation in the smart home category, but connectivity alone isn't enough. We believe in leading with design and seamlessly incorporating the right technologies so that our customers can personalize their bathroom experiences to be just right for them. How are they doing that, you may ask? I mentioned the Numi 2.0 intelligent toilet anchors the whole system. It's Kohler's most advanced intelligent toilet as opposed to their dumber intelligent toilets. It offers exceptional water efficiency, personalized cleansing and dryer functions, a heated seat, and high-quality built-in speakers. One
of those things I'm into, the heated seat.
You're not in for the personalized cleansing and dryer functions?
I have not had much experience with bidets, but I'm told they're amazing. So I would be willing to try it out. But the heated seat, easy sell.
Easy sell. All right, so we've got you there. It also has support for Amazon Alexa built in. So simple voice control of Numi's features and access to tens of thousands of skills, as well as seamless integration of voice control into the bathroom.
Oh my goodness. I went to the Kohler.com website, and there's a video.
We're going to sell them on this.
With music that sounds like something out of Blade Runner. And then you look at the video and you're like, wait, this is from Blade Runner.
The future is now. I was like if they spell connect with a K. Like we're idiots.
Yeah.
Give us some credit.
turn light. Let me give you some of the examples of the commands that they expect you to use. Turn lights to makeup mode. Fill spaghetti pot. That's it. Oh, start my morning shower.
Spaghetti pot.
Start chill time. Turn on ocean deep lighting.
God, I want all this.
So,
I've never wanted anything more in my life.
So another one of my many dead horses that I will, beat forever, right? Is that we should have more dumb robots that do things for us. You've heard me say this.
Yes.
And I don't know what's going on, but sometimes I don't know if you've seen this, Sean. Sometimes things in your house they just change. It used to be one way, and then suddenly it's another way.
Yeah.
And for me, this happens with my faucet, my shower.
Mm-hmm.
The specific angles that you have to turn the hot and the cold shower head to achieve your desired temperature are consistent, and then sometimes they change, and then they're suddenly different. And when it's different, it is very annoying.
Yep.
But this is a problem that a computer could solve. I don't need a smart faucet. I mean, I do. I guess a smart shower head, maybe, but the head isn't sufficient. I want to be able to tell it, hey, here's my desired temperature. Turn these faucets, figure out what, directions you need to be turning these faucets at to achieve my desired temperature.
Dan, the good news is Kohler has a solution for you that does exactly that.
And how much of my wall do I have to tear open to use this thing?
Literally all of it. It's called the DTV Plus shower system, and consumers can create presets for sound, water, steam, and lighting, delivering the ultimate customized spa-like showering experience. Use voice or a wall-mounted interface to access presets, make adjustment, and use the system's eco settings to control water usage. And essentially the way it works is you can pre-program a temperature, and when you turn on the faucet, it's already at that temperature.
It's already at that temperature?
It pre-warms it to the exact temperature.
What?
This is a thing. This exists. And by the way, this isn't new this year. They've had this for a little while. Now it's got an app that you can talk to.
Ooh, yes.
But put it this way. The only way you can buy it is through Kohler Design Services. They literally have to come to your house and custom install this. This isn't you can't go to Home Depot and buy this.
This is for a different sort of people than us.
Oh, no, Colby.
They don't even tell you the price.
That's not a good sign, but this appeals to me so much.
Oh, this is all I've ever wanted.
Because this actually saves you time. It's not a useless bit of luxury.
They do have.
Think about how long in your life you've wasted futzing with these stupid knobs trying to get the heat to be the right spot.
You're not wrong.
Well, Dan,
it would also be great if there was a little chime that went off when the shower was actually ready.
Yeah, it'll
That'd
alert
be
your phone.
amazing.
You'll get a push alert on your app.
Yeah, I want Alexa to tell me hey Colby, your showers
Shower
are
time. Well, the good news is they also have introduced Perfect Fill trademark technology, which can draw a bath to your preferred preset temperature and desired depth of water with a simple voice command or through the Kohler Connect app.
Honestly, this is pretty compelling.
I mean, this is all really good stuff. And then I'll throw one more on there for you, the Sensate touchless kitchen faucet, which allows users to turn water on and off with simple voice commands, but you can also dispense measured amounts of water. You can tell the faucet, I want 8 ounces of water, and the faucet will distribute 8 ounces of water. What world are we
Fill the
living
spaghetti
in?
pot.
This is amazing. I mean, this is great.
Now,
A
that
sensor
one is
on the
pretty
valve
useless.
monitors water usage, which is displayed on the Kohler Connect app for convenience.
That one's pretty useless to me.
That
But
is
I'm
all great.
the bath. I don't take many baths, but maybe that's something I should switch up. Switching it up, taking more baths.
Now the question is, guys, do you want to know how much all this costs? Because I do have
Yes.
some prices.
I'm
All right.
interested in the shower.
Okay,
thing.
Dan, the DTV Plus shower system with voice commands and spot presets will cost you, and I'm assuming this is not installed, so just the hardware, $3,000.
Okay.
Dan's thinking about it.
Listen, that's probably going to be the cost of a MacBook Pro in about 2 years.
Well,
so
you're not wrong. The freestanding bathtub which has the smart fill and it's got lighting effects. That'll run you about $5,000. And the star of the show, the Numi 2.0 intelligent toilet, will run you a sweet $7,000.
What?
Or $9,000 if you want it in black.
Ah!
Yep.
The black tax.
Yep.
That's shocking to me. The toilet is more expensive than the shower.
Than the bathtub, the entire bathtub. I mean, it's an intelligent toilet, Dan. It's, you know what it is? It's those high-end speakers they put in there.
That's the thing I really don't need.
Well, you don't think you need it, but imagine you sit on your toilet and, like, you know, awesome, like, Highway to Hell
What
starts
am I gonna
playing.
say? Play the most recent episode of Due by Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I have a Sonos in my bathroom.
See, this guy gets it.
If it was just built into the toilet, I could reallocate that Sonos for listening elsewhere.
I mean, it's a 2-in-1 product.
Mm-hmm. Just so weird.
I mean, it's going to pay for itself. I am really, really interested in the DTV Plus shower system. That's something. I remember once watching an episode of House Hunters that really inspired me because they went into this house and it was like a real kind of old, crappy house and it was a real fixer-upper. And they're like, yeah, some guy bought it and he had it for years, didn't really do much with it. They go through it and then they get to the bathroom and the guy must have spent his entire renovation bath. So it's just like a really crappy house with the most insane, gorgeous bathroom you've ever seen. And I'm like, I kind of get it. If you want to ruin your house that's like over the top, why not your bathroom?
Awesome.
Why not your bathroom?
Why not your bathroom? That should be Kohler's slogan.
I think the bathroom is one of the places that dollar for dollar you can get the most benefit. The bathroom, and I'm not going to say your bedroom, but simply your bed. Like those are my two picks.
I feel like you're onto something there, Dan. I think like the least money is probably spent in the bathroom and the most money on stupid shit is spent in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And I think like the like benefit is probably inverted. Like stupid kitchen tricks like are not good for you. Like yeah, like all you want in the kitchen is a reliable thing with like dials that turn. Like there's no like and all the touchscreen crap that they put on everything is abysmal.
You don't want the Alexa microwave?
No, I don't want the Alexa microwave.
We didn't talk about the giant over-the-oven screen that GE announced where it replaces the vent above your stove with a vent with a giant 24-inch screen in it. That's like right up here as you're cooking at your stove that you can do video chat and watch like cooking videos on.
Oh, God.
Falling squarely into the who is this for category?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like, yeah, the kitchen is the place where you need simple, reliable things. Like the bathroom, however, go crazy.
Go nuts. That's our advice. So if you're looking for it, check out Kohler, the fine folks at Kohler. Real innovators over there.
All right, that was my contribution. It's not as fun as the clothes dryer, or I forget which other ones we had. Well, we should do a worst of CES episode at some point.
Oh, over all the years?
Yeah.
There would be a lot. But like I said, there weren't a lot of like really... I did see one bonkers gadget that it wasn't even a working prototype, but they were still showing it, where it's a carafe that heats the water as you pour it out. So it's cold water in the carafe, and it goes through the top, and when it comes out, it's hot.
That's pretty cool.
And it uses...
magic.
Yes. Literal magic. No, some kind of fancy technology, but they couldn't prove it works. So, typical CES.
Why would you want to do that?
Because there's no waiting.
Yeah, it's instantly hot. They're making a dishwasher, a like countertop dishwasher that you can buy using the same technology.
Okay, now I'm interested.
And it looks really cool. What was the name of that company?
I feel like I've seen this too.
Yeah, it was, I think, at CES last year. I gotta see if I can find it. Not dishwasher. dish. I can't type.
Not dishwasher, dat washer.
Yeah, so here we go. The name of the company is Heatworks, and it's Ohmic Array, which is electric. It uses an electrical conductor between graphite electrodes, vibrating the minerals in the water. Right now, they're selling their dishwasher pre-order for the Tetra dishwasher, $2.99 to start. It's just like this glass cube you can put dishes in. It looks pretty sweet.
Sick. That's awesome.
How much does that run you for?
The dishwasher?
Yeah.
$2.99.
$2.99?
Yeah. Tabletop dishwasher.
All right.
It's this clear cube.
What's it called again?
The Tetra, Tetra. The pre-order should start. It's not available for pre-order yet. They say in the next couple months it'll go up for pre-order. The fine folks at Heatworks.
All right, that's all I want to talk about at CES. We talked about the Apple stuff. We didn't talk about Apple's billboard.
No.
But we don't have to.
I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on it.
No.
We're more or less out of time anyway, so unless there are any kind of concluding thoughts.
No, not about CES. Although if we do get to this Facebook story at some point, I have things to say about the Facebook story.
Well, we make our own rules here, Dan. You want to get to it?
You present what you think this Facebook story is about.
Oh no.
It's a trap.
You're really setting me up,
It's
bud.
a trap.
You're really...
It's not a trap. You're not trapped. The New York Times is trapped. Go out that way.
Facebook has had a number of privacy-related issues recently, I guess would be a generous way of putting it. And the New York Times published this story in mid-December. We're just getting to it now, but still somewhat relevant, that Facebook had engaged in data-sharing practices with other technology companies. Some examples listed in the story here. Facebook allowed Microsoft's Bing search engine to see the name of virtually all Facebook users' friends without consent, and gave Netflix and Spotify the ability to read users' private messages. Now, to be fair, from Facebook's perspective, they say, well, in terms of the private messages, which was sort of, I think, the biggest thing people took from this story, that it was giving these companies the ability to read your private messages. What Facebook says is it gave them permission to be in your private messages just so that they could message you. So if you're on Spotify, for example, they could send you a direct message saying, hey, you might like this song or you might like this music. It's not that they were reading your private messages. This information comes from a leak of several documents as well as interviews with 50 former employees of Facebook. Facebook did say they found no evidence of abuse by its partners, and that their biggest partners used the data appropriately, but they did say they had mismanaged some of its partnerships, allowing certain companies access to continue long after they had shut down the features that required the data. How'd I do, Dan?
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good summary of the article. But the thing that the article gets totally wrong, and Facebook did a really crappy job, and unless all this is obfuscated, Facebook also did a crappy job explaining this themselves, is that's like the Spotify thing with the private messages, like that is a thing called OAuth, right? And when you need OAuth permissions, like you ever log into a website and like you're authorizing this Twitter app to read your followers. Mm-hmm. You know, you log in with Twitter, you get one of those messages. Spotify wanted to be able to send or allow you to send a message, like share a song via a Facebook message from the Spotify app, which meant that they had to be able to get the messages OAuth scope, mm-hmm. which allowed them to read and write your messages. They only got that information if you if you connected your Facebook account to Spotify and you agreed to do that so that feature could work. It wasn't some data sharing. As a programmer, it's so frustrating to me. It's not a data sharing scheme. It's how the internet has evolved to work. Yeah, this is how you can connect websites together at all. And it's a good thing. It enables competition. It allows your data to move around.
Yeah, it's not like they just left your data sitting out on a park bench or something and Spotify walked by and picked it up. I mean,
No. And Spotify could not access anyone's data who had not logged into Spotify with Facebook. It would have been physically impossible.
I think this circles back to why we originally called the show Don't Panic. I think this is a perfect situation of don't panic when you hear the headlines as you're, I can hear it in my mind right now. Your local news reporter coming up tonight at 11, what Facebook is doing with your data. More after this, where they just summarize a story in a way that doesn't really get into the complexities of it. Now, I will say there has been clear evidence that whether it's Facebook or certainly some of these other social media companies have been rather cavalier with how they use these authorizations. And in terms of informing users as to what the authorizations actually are and what they mean, and stopping them when the user stops them.
Well, okay. My point here is that there are a lot of reasons to be angry at Facebook, and this isn't one of them. Sure. And we should be focusing on the ones that we should be getting angry at them about.
I think that's very fair.
Instead of getting distracted by this. But, Android does this. You install an Android app, and it's like, this app will read your contacts and talk to your mom. And everyone just says yes. Yeah. It doesn't even matter that they're saying it. And I think OAuth has the same problem now.
Mm. Do you think this will slow people down from authorizing apps, or do you think people just don't care, or aren't interested enough to learn what they mean? I don't think
people know. I think some people, the nerds are not using Facebook login anymore, which sucks because it's so useful. Mm-hmm. But I'm shying away from it now. But I don't know that anyone else is. But I also suspect what this means, though, probably the bigger change will be that there won't be as many new companies created whose only way you can log in is with some social app thing. Because I remember a time like 2012, 2014, where I was like, oh, we don't need to run our own accounts. We'll just use Facebook login. I mean, hell, we did that.
Yeah. And then it broke.
It broke. Facebook broke our stuff.
Yeah, man.
They didn't want us here, but...
That's true. But in response to that, we did get a sweet new website.
We did.
The sweetest new website.
That is true.
Which everyone should go to over at don'tpanic.io.
I don't get emails from GraphCool anymore. Are they still kicking?
I don't know. The website still loads.
That's true.
Dan, I think that was a very good explanation.
Thanks.
But we got to move on. We got to move on to picks. This is the part of the show where each of us brings something we want to share with the world, something we've been enjoying. I'm sure we've got a big backlog of picks. We haven't been here for a few weeks. Some really good stuff to share. I'm going to jump in and go first because I feel like I'm on the top of the list here. And I've got a quick pick. I've got something for you to watch. I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and not like the stupid, dumb YouTube that I'm embarrassed to say exists, but like there's actually a really good amount of highly produced, really good content on YouTube. And one of the channels I am a big fan of that I am a subscriber to is SB Nation, which is the sports arm of Vox Media. And they have
What's the SB stand for? Is it Sports Ball?
Yes, it is Sports Ball. Sports Ball Nation. Actually, I have no idea what the SB stands for. That's a good question. They should make a video on that. But what I like about them is they have several really excellent video series that they do about sports, and I learn a lot. Everyone always says, Sean, where do you learn all this random shit, It's from watching stuff like this. They've got, not to go through all of them, they've got series like The Worst, where they pick the worst Super Bowl or the worst March Madness collapse, and they kind of take you through the whole story, and those are really interesting. They've got one called Beef History, where they take two famous athletes who have a beef, and they break down where the beef started and the history of that. They've got a great one, Rewinder, which takes some iconic moments in sports and tells you what led up to that moment. It's all these sort of mini documentaries, but they're exceptionally well produced and really fun to watch. So I recommend if you're looking for some new content, they're publishing stuff all the time. SB Nation on YouTube. Check it out. Colby, what do you got?
Mine's a board game.
What?
I got this game for Christmas. It's called the Quest for El Dorado, and it's like it's fun. It's like a I think the term is a deck building game. So like you start out with like you have like a deck of cards, and you start out with these base cards, and then you're trying to like improve your deck of cards. Meanwhile, you're like racing the other players across this map. And two things are cool. One is that the map changes every game. So like there are like these big like hexagonal pieces that you can like rearrange and put together, and there are like preset like layouts and stuff for it. And the other thing is that it's fun, I guess. I don't remember what the other thing was. But it's pretty fun. It's like a combination of like I played games that were sort of like races like this, and I played games that are like deck building games. It's a surprisingly fun combination. Dan's talking, but I can't hear him.
You are well spotted. What's another example in your head of a deck building game?
Dominion.
God, Dominion. Okay.
Yeah, that's the. It's like the deck stuff is a lot like Dominion, but unlike Dominion, where you're just trying to get like points by improving your deck, this you're like racing to El Dorado. It's very cool. So yeah, I don't know if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, sounds fun. Now, I should warn you, it is for ages 10 and up, so you may not apply.
Oh yeah, it's also relatively fast. It takes like an hour, and it seems like pretty consistent. Like it's actually an hour. Some games say they take an hour, and it takes like an hour and a half.
Sounds good. The Quest for El Dorado from the fine folks at Ravensburger, available on Amazon now. We'll have the link on the website. I will say, guys, you were just bragging about how great the website is, and I agree it's great. But Zach in the Twitch chat points out he was trying to find something the other day and had to browse all the pages. We should have a pick search on the website.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I can't say I disagree.
If you go to don'tpanic.io/picks and use the amazing search feature, which is Control or Command F in your browser.
But didn't we, hang on though, didn't we, is that a publicly available page?
I think
Yes.
it is.
Oh, we should promote that more. I didn't even know that was a thing, so we really should promote that more. I thought you had to be logged into. Oh, you look
It
at that.
could be better.
Yeah,
But
It's a start.
Totally. It's for our like in the know listeners.
What I should do, and I will, Zach, I promise you I will do this into all the, I will tweet the picks every week, and people can search our Twitter feed. Now, it's only moving forward, so sorry, but at Don't Panic Show on Twitter, I will tweet the picks every week. Oh, God. This is my first thing I got to follow through on in 2019. Oh, no.
No.
make sure to sweat the details on this one.
I'm going to immediately forget I made that promise. All right, Dan, take us home. What do you got?
I actually didn't really have a pick, but I started listening to this podcast today called The Dreamers? The Dream. And it's a podcast about multi-level marketing schemes.
Nice.
And I've only listened to the first episode, but they promised to, have some hard-hitting, I don't know if hard-hitting journalism is the right word, but they're going to talk to a lot of people, including some people who run multi-level marketing schemes, some people who have been broken out of the spell, as it were, and some people who are still under the spell. First episode is really good. It covers this like crazy cultish 90s market-level marketing scheme. Check it out. It's on Stitcher. It's a Stitcher original podcast series, but it's available on all the things. So
cool. I read an article today. The Dream available on Stitcher. Yeah, I read an article today that they expect podcasting advertising revenue to top $600 million this year.
yeah.
Why don't we have any of that, guys?
Well, we have some of it. We got $10 or whatever, right?
I think
That technically counts as advertising. We
sort of.
advertised Amazon
affiliate
products.
links. Yeah.
Huh.
So everyone should go to don'tpanic.io if you're interested in picking up Colby's board game pick. We'll get like 38 cents if you buy one. So check it out. Those pennies
click on all those links.
really add up.
Click on them and then buy them, because unfortunately, Amazon
clicks
doesn't
are
pay us for
worthless.
impressions. Yeah.
Yeah. We need you to like, follow, and subscribe. Get behind us here. Like I said, the website, of course, you can subscribe wherever you get podcasts. We're on Stitcher. We're on Overcast, Apple Podcasts, now on Spotify, wherever you get your shows. Also, video version on YouTube. You can also follow us at Don't Panic Show on Twitter. I will think about tweeting the pics. And you can email us, don'tpanicshow@gmail.com, if you have feedback or thoughts for us. Any other suggestions you'd like on our webpage, please. Colby's looking for a goal this year. Give him something to do.
That's right.
It's true.
Maybe we can have like a bot, like the New York Times bot, where it's like, on this day, don't panic, 2016, we picked this.
Oh, there you go. That's a fun idea. I like that.
I like it.
If only we knew somebody who could do that.
Yeah. Well, I've been meaning to learn Rust, so.
I'm going to assume that's a programming thing and
Just
not something.
get your
that just
tetanus
made up.
shot first.
Hey! Hey, that's what people tune in for, those jokes. Well, we are going to wrap it up here. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on our first show of 2019. Appreciate it. We'll be back next week. It'll be just Colby and I next week, which will be fun. Little tease for you. Dan couldn't be bothered to show up, so
Couldn't be bothered.
nope, he's got better things to do. He's going to
Got
cheat on
stuff
us
to
with
do, people to see.
his secret podcast up in Canada. He's got to go spend time with. So
Oh, if only.
Colby and I will be okay. All right.
No, I'm just saying, like, I need more Canadian connections than I currently have. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, Dan's going to go try and find some Canadian friends. Colby and I will be back next week for more tech news and good time on behalf of all of us. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time for more Don't Panic.